Archangel Michael, July 15, 2016. By Deborah Faith. Website, www.archangelsanddevas.com. Michael, can you give me any guidance at this present moment? I can, beloved. I have guided you to stay in your heart with me so that I may help you get clear of the last remnants of your human conditioning. What is wrong with my human conditioning? There is nothing wrong with it, my love, but in order for you to be fully realized with me in presence, you need to get clear on what is left of the false beliefs and teachings you have adopted as your truth. This is the false self or ego. It's not that I don't believe I'm hearing you. It's just that sometimes, like now, I don't believe I am completely clear in hearing you. I don't understand certain things that you tell me. Does this mean that in order for me to be fully realized and to know my true self, I need to get clear of all the false beliefs of the ego? Yes, you will only be completely clear once you are fully realized with me. This is not that far off. It depends though on how much time you are willing to devote to yourself to being fully with me in presence. By fully realized, you mean fully merged energetically? Yes. There can be no negative or discordant energy between us. And yes, I'm hearing your thoughts on this. Whilst in human form, you will always have the ego, which supports your human experience, but it is important that you not allow the ego to feed you false ideas and beliefs. Yes, the ego is part of human conditioning and the programming that afforded you your human experience. But this is the conditioning and programming which you and I are now presently clearing. Yes, it is possible to have ego without the conditioning and programming. What is the purpose of ego then? The ego forms part of your human consciousness. It is what has allowed you to experience yourself as a human. The ego is the false self, the shadow. It is all that you are not. So then why on earth do I need it? You don't, sweetheart, not at all. In fact, when you're fully self-realized with me, you will have no ego. That is not to say that you won't from time to time slip back into ego. Whilst in human form, the ego will always be there, hovering in the background, so to speak. Remember, you are multidimensional and the ego is the corridor to your third-dimensional experience. I'm devoting as much time as I can right now. Perhaps I can devote some more? Perhaps, beloved. But it is up to you how hard you are willing to work at this. Bear in mind the rewards are great. So I'm getting now from you that one of the things I can work on is staying in presence by taking back the control of my mind. In other words, be in control of my thoughts? Yes, this is something that takes some work, but the mind is compliant and will get the picture, sooner than you think. At present the mind is mastered by the ego, but soon the mind will realize who its true master is. You just have to be diligent in your pursuit of this. Again, the rewards are great and it's worth all the effort you can give yourself to achieving this mastery. So sit with me now, let me help you with this. I know you have tried before, but it takes patience in order to accomplish a breakthrough, but once you have broken through the ego's resistance, it is relatively simple to achieve. You always did tell me that the mind is the final frontier. Think of it more as the final hurdle. Thank you, I will. You are welcome, beloved. Can you please repeat for me what you told me a few days ago concerning the importance of grounding when in presence? Absolutely. When you are in presence with me, then you are essentially making space and clearing the way for me to ground more of my light within you. Especially when we're grounding, say, in nature where there is high frequency energy supporting you. When in nature you are spontaneously receiving energetic support from Gaia and all her life forms, making the grounding much more powerful. This type of grounding is strengthening your energetic connection to me. And yes, this is why you're so tired afterwards. It's not the high frequency energy being grounded through you that is making you tired, it's the clearing of the old energy that is exhausting. Michael, may I ask you one last question? Of course you may, beloved. I am always here for you. There is a lot of talk about first contact. You already know how I interpret this, because you know my every thought. But tell me please if my interpretation has any truth in it. First of all, let me say that what you believe isn't necessarily what the next person believes. To confine yourself or define yourself is to restrict yourself. You cannot be restricted because you are infinite, and the way in which you interpret information is always going to be unique. Your experience of something is based upon your interpretation and understanding and the meaning you give it. To say if your interpretation contains truth depends on what you define as being your truth. Because I know you and I know how your mind works, I will say this. Yes, it bears some truth. First contact to you means having your first real contact with me. Up until now you have had fleeting moments with me, and these have mostly been whilst in dream state. That doesn't mean they were not real. However, it will soon be possible for you to experience being with me in light form whilst in an awakened state and to fully remember your experience. You mean in my light body, right? Yes, of course. Can I recall here what we spoke of the other day for the benefit of those reading this? Do you mind? No, not at all, beloved. Go ahead, please. We were watching this really cool YouTube video on some of the most beautiful and treasured places on Earth. I told you I would love to visit these places. You know that it has always been a dream of mine to travel the world and see all the incredible beauty on this amazing planet. You replied that you will take me to all of these places one day, but that we would view them from the etheric realm. Absolutely. There was one scene where the camera went deep into the crevice of a canyon and I made a remark about not being comfortable being in such a confined space, and you replied that we would move through the crevice. You said that nothing is solid. Correct. And in the water scenes, like at the Great Barrier Reef, you said we would go diving without a snorkel because we would have no problem breathing underwater. Again, correct. I also said that the etheric version of planet Earth is breathtakingly beautiful. Far more so than the physical Earth which you now perceive through your human eyes. Yes. I expect the colors are more vivid and everything is pristine. Yes, it is, although that is putting it mildly. Smile, there awaits a whole new world for you to discover, my love. Thank you. You have given me new hope, and strengthened me, once again. You are welcome, beloved. I am, as always, at your service. As I am always at yours, beloved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.